Okay, for any SaaS company out there, we all know massive growth is the dream, right? But what happens when that dream starts to feel more like a nightmare? What happens when the very support system you built to help your users just completely breaks under the weight of your own success? We're about to dive into a huge shift in how we think about support, moving from a model that's pretty much designed to fail to one that's actually built to evolve.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It's this painful paradox, isn't it? The very success you've been grinding for creates an operational crisis that your team, your amazing human team, just can't handle. Your support agents get burned out, your users get frustrated, and the whole system starts to crumble. It really isn't a matter of if it's going to break, it's just a matter of when. And that breaking point, it often has a very specific number attached to it: 100,000 users. Now, this isn't just some random milestone. This is the threshold where the sheer volume of support tickets completely overwhelms any system that's built on that simple, old-school idea of more problems, more people. This is the point where your nice linear growth slams headfirst into a truly exponential crisis.
So let's really break down exactly why this crisis happens. It all comes down to the total failure of linear scaling. That old assumption that, for every 1,000 new users, you can just hire another support agent. But that math completely, and I mean completely, falls apart in a global, 24/7 world. And here's the fallout from that collapse. First off, ticket latency just skyrockets. This frustrates your users and, yeah, it drives them right to your competitors. Your support team becomes this massive bottleneck, making it basically impossible to expand globally. And those static keyword-based chatbots you set up, well, they're completely useless when it comes to the complex, high-context technical problems your real power users are having.
Okay, so if the old model is so fundamentally broken, what's the fix? Well, the answer isn't just a slightly better version of the old way. It's a completely new architecture for support. And this means moving away from those human bottlenecks and towards something really different: autonomous infrastructure.
This comparison really just lays it all out. On one side, you've got the old world, reactive, totally reliant on pre-written scripts, and honestly, super fragile. And on the other, you have what's being called a neural mesh. It doesn't just follow a script, it actually maps user intent against your system's telemetry in real time. It doesn't break under load, it scales with it. It's a huge leap from just fixing surface-level issues to deeply understanding your actual product.
Now, I know neural mesh might sound a little bit like science fiction, but this stuff is really happening now. So let's get into the nuts and bolts of what's being called a self-healing engine. How on earth can a system actually provide support without a human in the loop?
So the key idea is right here in the definition. This system isn't just guessing based on keywords. No, it maps what a user wants to do, their actual intent, against what the system is actually doing right now in real time. It uses the live data streaming from your servers, that's the telemetry, as its eyes and ears. That live connection is what allows it to solve incredibly complex issues all on its own.
You can kind of think of this engine as having three core parts, almost like a body. First, you've got the real-time telemetry. These are the senses, constantly aware of the system's health. Then, you have distributed AI nodes, which act like the nervous system, making sure you can get answers anywhere in the world in under a second. But the most important part, the real game changer, is the brain. These recursive feedback loops that are constantly auditing and improving the system's own logic.
And this is how that brain actually works. It's incredible. An AI node delivers a solution to a user. Immediately after, it audits its own work. If it finds a flaw, or even just a more efficient way it could have solved the problem, it identifies that gap, and then it automatically generates and deploys a patch to its own code. Think about that for a second. This happens instantly, without a single developer even getting a notification. This is what self-healing actually means.
Okay, so with a system this autonomous, the big question is obvious, right? Where do people fit into all of this? Look, this isn't about replacing your support team. It's about fundamentally redefining their role from the ground up.
So let's just tackle this head on. If the system is handling tickets, auditing itself, and even writing its own patches, are humans obsolete? The answer is not at all, not even close. Their job just changes, and for the better.
The role elevates dramatically. Your team members stop being reactive ticket resolvers, just buried in an endless queue of repetitive tasks. They become proactive logic architects.
Instead of just following static scripts, they're overseeing an evolving intelligent system. They shift their focus from putting out individual fires to ensuring system-wide stability. It's a move from manual, grinding labor to genuinely high-level strategic work.
So what's the ultimate payoff here? What's the endgame? Well, when you combine this incredibly powerful technology with this newly elevated human role, you're not just building a better support desk, you're building something way bigger, the foundation for a truly autonomous enterprise. That's the ultimate vision.
The most immediate impact is, of course, on the bottom line. The operational overhead of a massive human-led support team is, well, it's enormous. A neural mesh architecture just slashes that cost, freeing up huge amounts of capital that you can then reinvest directly back into making your product even better. But the ultimate goal here goes way beyond just saving money. It's about unifying your product and your support into a single entity. Imagine them working together as one self-optimizing organism that adapts, that heals, and that improves itself constantly. The result is a truly seamless and intelligent experience for every single one of your users.
So that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Take a hard, honest look at your own operations. Is your support architecture just a scaled-up version of what you had at 1,000 users, just waiting for its inevitable breaking point? Is your support system built to break, or is it built to evolve? Thanks for tuning in.